Hello there internet, I am Roo and welcome back to World of Roocraft, the series where I review, World of Warcraft. We are still going over the different playable races and starting areas in the game, and after we took a look at the Orcs of Durotar, I want to talk about one of their oldest enemies, the humans. Like always, let's start with a little bit of backstory. In comparison to the other races of Azeroth, the humankind is a pretty young race, since they have only been around for a couple of millennia. We know today that they started out as descendants of the giant Rickle race, and the very first recorded human kingdom was the kingdom of Arator. Over time, Arator grew and eventually split into 7 different kingdoms. The kingdom's capital city Stromgarde itself, Stormwind, the sea nation Kul Tiras, Dalaran, Gilneas, Alterac, and Lordaeron. During the war between orcs and humans, Stormwind was destroyed, and together with the other kingdoms, the humans united in the Alliance of Lordaeron. Thanks to that alliance, the humans were successful in beating the Horde during the Second War. As we learned in our Gilneas video, the Gilnean kingdom later decided to leave the alliance, together with the kingdom of Stromgarde. Things started out to look pretty bad as a mysterious plague killed a huge population of Lordaeron. This eventually led to the destruction of the kingdom and the death of Teradas Menethil by the hands of his own son, Arthas Menethil. That's right baby, there he is again! During the Third War between the forces of Azeroth and the Burning Legion, the kingdom of Stormwind rose in influence and power and remains to be the capital city of the Alliance to this day. And this brings us to today. It's not looking good for Stormwind. Due to the high costs of the campaign in Northrend, a lot of citizens are forced to pay high taxes. And let's face it, nobody likes to pay taxes. Not even in a fantasy world. Not even the return of the beloved King Varian Rin can calm the upset citizens. And to make matters worse, a returning Deathring laid waste to Stormwind itself. Due to this, a lot of people were forced out of their homes and onto the streets. It's only logical that people aren't happy right now. To help keep the peace in Stormwind and the surrounding Elwynn forest, Stormwind is sending out recruits to the nearby Northshire Valley. And that's where you come in. But wait, we haven't talked about the available classes yet. Humans offer you to play as one of the following classes: Hunter, Mage, Monk, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Warlock, and Warrior. The human race boni include a 10% bonus on repetition gains, a spell to remove stun effects, and a 2% boni on all secondary statuses, no matter the source. Now let's get back to the game. If you decide to start out as a new human player, you will start at the aforementioned Northshire Valley. Here you will be greeted by Marshal McBride. McBride gives you a quick rundown of the current situation. Thanks to Deathring and his shenanigans, a path to the neighboring Burning Steppes opened up, allowing orcs to flood the valley. It's your task now to fight the invading forces. Yeah, those spies aren't doing a great job. Oh no, not the vineyard! That's where the vine sleeps! To stop the orc invasion, you have to deal with their leader, Kurtuk the Slayer. Your stint in Northshire is pretty short, but don't worry, there's much more to do. Thanks to your bravery, you are sent to the nearby village of Goldshire in the forest of Elwynn. You even earn a promotion to Deputy of the Stormwind Marshals. That's pretty cool. Now in your new position, you are tasked to investigate the gold shortage in Elwynn Forest. As you travel to the Fargo Deep and Chesperlode mines, you have to deal with a kobold infestation in both of them. It's not only kobolds making it hard for miners, a group of bandits is stealing gold from the mines too. Your investigation leads you to a guy called the Collector, and after some persuasion, he's willing to drop his activities in Elwynn. During this you will also find a ring, belonging to the Stormwind Mason Guild. This is interesting, since the Mason Guild is known for being the predecessor of the infamous Defios Brotherhood. I guess you have no idea what I'm talking about. So let's head over to your favorite show in a show. Roo Explains Stuff. The Defios Brotherhood is an integral part of the story of Elwynn Forest. They originally started out as members of the Stormwind Stonemason Guild. After Stormwind was destroyed during the Second War, the nobles of Stormwind contracted the stonemasons to rebuild their city. After the work was done and they demanded to be paid, the nobles pulled a cheap one on them, denied their payment, and ordered the guild to be disbanded. As you can imagine, this didn't sit well with the stonemasons and their leader, Edwin Van Cleef. Together with other pissed off masons, Van Cleef created the Defias Brotherhood with the goal to overthrow the government and to get back what's rightfully theirs. The Defias went on to rob travelers and terrorize the areas of Elwynn Forest and Westfall. With the help of the People's Militia, Stormwind eventually tracked down Van Cleef to the Dead Mines and succeeded in interrupting his plan to launch a full-on attack on Stormwind. After their leader's death, the Defias Brotherhood was thought to be disbanded and done for. The mystery of the stone gold out of the way, it's time to do something for the people of Elwynn. During your adventure you will meet the young farmer's daughter Mabel McClure. Mabel has a big problem. She's in love with the strutting young man Tommy Joe Stonefield. But there's one problem. The McClures and Stonefields hate each other. It's a tragic tale as old as time itself. You can now decide to help the lovebirds out. With the help of the chemist William Pastel, you brew up an invisibility potion so Mabel and Tommy Joe can meet in secret. That's right kids, don't talk about your problems, use magical drugs to solve them. The remainder of your duty in Elwynn will consist of helping out at the Eastville logging camp. The criminal James Clark took up camp there. He's wanted for killing the prized pig princess. Yeah, he totally did that. And so it's up to you to bring him to justice. You can also investigate the rising Murloc attacks in the area. Oh yes, Murlocs. Don't you just love these guys? Your adventure in Elwynn Forest will come to an end with your last big assignment. The Westbrook garrison has to deal with gnoll attacks, and in an effort to stop them, you will face off with their leader, Hoger. Man, do you remember that guy back in the first days of WoW? Whew, he's still a piece of work, but at this point you should have no problem with the furry fuck. And that's pretty much all it is to do in the forest of Elwynn and Stormwind. From here out on you can either travel to Westfall or the Redridge Mountains to continue your adventure. In my personal opinion, the human starting area is a mediocre one. I felt the conflict between orcs and humans fell a little short, and the remaining quests felt a little bit too formulaic. On a positive note, questing and leveling in Elwynn works pretty fast, so if you're not interested in the whole story, it doesn't take too long for you to progress far enough to move on to a higher level area. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this little review. If you did, let me know by hitting the like button or leaving a comment. If you feel especially generous, consider sharing this video or subscribing to the channel. Next time we will move on to Mulgore and its inhabitants, the Tauren. This is Roo signing off. Bye bye!